Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to the Ajati Kamrat Mahotsav story series from Momish Musings. Today, I'm going to introduce you to another interesting and brave queen from Gondwana region. Interesting, isn't it? This Gond queen has in fact defeated Akbar thrice. And do you know one secret? Akbar actually admired her courage and valor that he had asked his uh, biographers who had written Akbar-e-Nama to mention about her story. Surprising, isn't it? Come on, friends. Let us move to the 15th century to meet this interesting personality all the way from Gondwana. She is none other than Rani Durgawati. Rani Durgawati was born into the king called Kiratpal Singh from Bundelkhand region. In fact, she was living in the Kalinjar fort in Bundelkhand region, and she has lost her mother at a very early age, at a tender age. So that's the reason why she's become more closer to her father, who had trained her on all the military skills, horse riding, archery, and she was also helping. I mean, started sitting along with her father whenever the military strategies were being planned in Kalinja fort. In fact, her shooting skills, her military skills was are of par excellence that everybody in the Bundelkhand region know about it, it seems. In fact, there is a story that goes around Bundelkhand region about her bravery and her fineness in the archery skills that whenever there is any lion, at that time, it's or most of the Madhya Pradesh is filled with dense forest, isn't it? And there are a lot of wild animals that keep roaming freely. And whenever, if she hears that a lion or a tiger is troubling the local people, she never used to drink even a sip of water, and she should take her horse and ride into the dense forest all alone and kill that beast with her bow and arrows. That was her courage and bravery, which was for which she was well known in Bundelkhand region. As she came up to the age of marriage, she was married to Dalpasha, and there are from Gondwana. See, a Rajput princess getting married to a tribal king is totally unheard in during that time. That is in 15th century. Some people call it as a marriage of political alliance because at that point of time, Kirpat Pal Singh uh, was going on a financial status was going on a decline because he is already fighting a lot of wars within the other kings. Among the other kings from the Bundelkhand region, also he's trying to put up a strong opposition force for the Mughal warriors who are trying to come and occupy Bundelkhand. And when Dalpat Shah has approached him for the marriage with Rani Durgawati, he had agreed immediately. But the other stories or other rumors that go around in the Gondwana region is that both uh, Durgavati, the princess of Bundelkhand, was really impressed with the bravery and courage of Dalpasha, and it seems Dalpasha is the first line of defense for Mughals, and that's the reason Mughals are not able to enter into Gondwana or any other areas down south from Delhi. So she was also impressed with his administration skills and the military bravery. That she also thought that if this marriage happens, it will be a good alliance, strategically good alliance from both Bundelkhand as well as Gondwana, and that is why she also agreed for this marriage proposal. We don't know what has happened actually, whether it's a love marriage or whether it's a marriage with the political expansions or political stability. Whatever it may be the reason, the queen from Kalanjar Fort, the princess from Kalanjar Fort has moved to Gondwana after getting married to the tribal lord Dalpasha. And then Bundelkhand and Gondwana has become a very strong, politically stable area empire. And the historians started referring that area as Garha Mandala. Then, but unfortunately, this marriage couldn't last for longer time. As usual, fate always intervenes, right? Dalpat Shah passed away in 1550 due to some unknown illness all of a sudden. By that time itself, uh, Durgavati, who had become queen by that time for Gonds, was already blessed with a son by name Veer Narayan, who is just 5 years old. So she made Veer Narayan as the king to Gondwana region. And then she started ruling that entire area as queen region. And but the moment she became queen regent, most of her enemy, I mean, the kings surrounding her region, the entire Gondwana region, started eyeing at her kingdom as the next possible expansion plans. So, the first person who had attacked her is from the Malwa region, which is just up north to the Gondwana, is Baj Bahadur. Baj Bahadur thought that being a lady with a small kid, she's the easiest person, to conquer, and he can get hold of Gondwana immediately. So the moment he attacked Gondwana, Queen Durgawati gave him a befitting reply and sent him away. And the losses which Baj Bahadur had incurred during this war are so tremendous that his empire started getting going on a decline at a later after this war. And Queen Durgawati could get so much of wealth in the form of people who are coming to her kingdom after this war, or the precious metals, stones, cash, everything. Then she realized that staying in Singorgarh fort, which is once upon a time the capital of the Gondwana region, is not a good decision because all the other kings might start getting attacking her. So she shifted her fort to Chauragarh fort, which is once again situated in the dense forest of the Satpura ranges. In the dense forest of Satpura range, and she started taking care of the Gondwana kingdom from Chittorgarh fort. And she is a very good administrator at that point of time in itself. She knew that because her kingdom is mostly situated in forest, and the rains come only for certain period of time. Having consistent water supply is the key for their kingdom success. So she started working on water conservation methods. She started introducing the rain harvesting methods in her kingdom, and that is the reason. And she has built a lot of reservoirs and wells in and around Jabalpur. Rani Tal, which is being seen in Jabalpur, is the first reservoir which she has built. That itself stands testimonial to all her environmental friendly measures which she has taken at that point of time in 15th century. And then she started teaching tribals a little bit of education. She started teaching the ladies of the tribals about the various the military skills and everything. She started building their self-confidence levels, and she started teaching them about the love for the motherland, and she started telling them how the foreign invaders are taking away our pride and glory and making us slaves. So that's how the Rajput princess has become the queen of hearts for all the Gondwanas. Even today, Gondwanas, the Gond region people really admire her for her beauty, not for her just beauty, but her courage, valor, quick decision making skills, and everything. And there are a lot of life lessons which one can learn from her life history, especially for the girls. But the life was not very peaceful for her because people still at that point of time in India believe that she is not a good administrator, not a good courageous queen. So everybody was trying to kind of invade her kingdom from all the directions. In fact, in her entire life history, she fought more than 50 battles, uh, and she became victorious in each and every battle. Then you can understand how courageous she should be, and what is the power of her military strategies, what is the power of her team, the army and army battalions, which are none other than tribals, right? They are not trained on the new military skills, that they don't know how to use gunpowder, they don't know how to use cannons and stuff like that. All they have is the bow and archery, and then the sword fight, fist fight, and all the stuff. In the meantime, what happened is Bal Bahadur got defeated in the hands of Akbar's army. So Adam Khan has started ruling Malwa on behalf of Akbar. Adam Khan is the military general on behalf of Akbar. Then that means the Mughal Empire started touching the current Gondwana Empire. On the other side, in the north, Asaf Khan has already captured Rewa kingdom. And both these two people have typically used to go and fill in Akbar's ears about her Queen Durgawati's beauty and her excellent administrative skills. And in the meantime, because of different wars which Durgavati had to fight and win, she emerged huge well. So they, and that is also another alluring factor for Asaf Khan and Adam Khan to attack her fort. So they finally could convince Akbar that it is high time that they should wage a war against Queen Durgawati. Akbar was heard to have told his courtiers and especially these two military generals that they shouldn't kill Durgawati in war. They should capture her alive and bring it to him in Delhi so that he can give her the right place in the woman in his women's quarters. That shows that he's smitten by her beauty, he's smitten by her brains, he's smitten by her courage and valor. All this information started filtering into Gondwana kingdom and started reaching the ears of the tribals. And then the tribals were getting little jittery about Akbar's army attacking Gondwana. And then Rani Durgawati has encouraged them and filled them with the bravery by telling them that this is our motherland. We are born and brought up here. We cannot let it go to somebody, some Muslim invaders, just because they are huge in number. We know this area in and out. And even what if we don't have cannons or gunpowder? We can still attack them from behind because we know these forests and these hills in and out. And she started teaching, she started encouraging them to use the guerrilla warfare method, to use all the different possible tactics in the military to attack against the Akbar's army, which is coming from the north. And in fact, she moved to Narayanala, which is a very tough terrain, surrounded by huge steep hills on one side and rivers, Narmada and other rivers on the other sides. So there is only one pathway where the people can either enter from here and go to the end, or people who are entering from there can come back this side. There is no midway where people can actually go in different directions. So she went and along with her troops went into Narayanala and started waging wars against Akbar's army. To every day, with her military tactics, the army battalions from Asaf Khan, Adam Khan had to retreat back to the place where they started, and she defeated all those people for 2 days in succession. It was the second day night. She got the news that huge cannons with lot of gunpowder, everything is coming down from Delhi Sultanate, so that they can attack these tribals in a full-fledged manner. The moment she heard this news, she told her army commanders and her ministers that they should go and attack the enemies in the night itself, because the moment the next day dawn comes, there might be chances that the cannons from Delhi Sultanate might reach their area, and their team will not be able to face the cannon fight. But the ministers and other people from her army battalion stood for the war which is which will be fought on a basis of the dharma. They said that waging a war in the night is not at all good. That is against the dharma principles, and they convinced her to take rest that day night. Unfortunately, on the third day, her predictions came true, and she, along with her son, started waging the wars. She mounted the elephant, and her son went on another elephant or horse. We don't know. And they started waging a very tough fight with all the enemies who had come from that side, and they also have cannons, guns, and the battery gunpowder, isn't it? She, in the middle of the fight, her close minister came to her and said her son got wounded and had to be taken away from the battleground back to the place where Shoragar fort, where there is open space where people can tend to him. And her son is just a teenage boy at that point of time, my dear friends. So he was he was in need of his mother's affection and love more than the wounds, right? The doctor's treatment, and he wanted his mother to be on his side. But Remember, this is Queen Durgavati. No normal, she's not a normal mother like us. So she told that her son can wait, but motherland cannot wait. And if she retreats at this point of time from the war, she is going to, she's going to basically do the injustice to the continents which her people, the subjects, the tribals had kept in her, and she's going to deceive her motherland. So she's not going to retreat back and go and see her son. So she kept on fighting, waging a war with all the people. The one gun shoot has actually wounded the mahout, who is like the person who is controlling the elephant. So she doesn't have any controlling person, so she needs to control the elephant on one side, and then she has to wage war on the other side. Even in that situation, she didn't feel back. I mean, she didn't step back. She started controlling the elephant, and she started waging war with the other hand. At that point of time, a couple of arrows came and hurt her in the neck and in the ears and stuff like that. She removed them and she started fighting. But when the cannon started coming in front of her and she knew that the end is nearing, she told the closest minister who was standing next to her on the horse to kill her. And that minister kind of felt bad to kill the queen, and he was hesitating. Then Queen Durgawati said, "Better to die with dignity than live without self respect. I have served my motherland for so many years, and this is a time for me to give the sacrifice, do the ultimate sacrifice for my motherland. I'm doing it." And she took a small dagger from her sari, and she has stabbed herself. And the place where she stabbed herself and it still remains, which is closer to Jabalpur, and they have built a samadhi or the graveyard, huge gravestones in remembering her. After her death, Mughals have come and occupied the Chittorgarh fort, and by the time itself, her son Veer Narayanan had already passed away by waging the last battle against the Mughals. That is the story, my dear friends, about Queen Durgavati, who has actually shown that bravery is more needed for any woman to fight in any drastic situations. She said beauty is just the external part. The internal part, the mind is much should be more courageous and more strong when compared to the external beauty. There are so many life lessons which one can learn from Queen Durgavati's story, isn't it? So that's all, my dear friends, for today. And I also have a good news to share with you all. Today we have completed our 25th story on the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav story series. So we still have 50 more to go. I'm not saying that I'm going to stop it today here, but please do let me know which is the story which you like the most till now, so that it will give me more encouragement to dig into more history, more pages in the history books, and present you with interesting stories further. Till then, stay safe and healthy. I will meet you tomorrow with another interesting story. Bye bye, my dear friends.